Welcome, Victoria. We are back with the School Matters podcast with our second episode, and today we are going to be talking about all things Parent University. And if you don't know what Parent University is, well, you're about to learn. We have some amazing guests with us today. Hello and welcome.
Hi.
Please introduce yourselves.
My name is Cindy Salinas, and I'm the director of MTSS, which is a very short acronym for Multi-Tier Systems of Support.
And I'm Leanne Lynch. I'm the director of state and federal programs for the district.
Well, welcome to the School Matters podcast. We are so excited to learn and share everything about Parent University with everybody listening to the School Matters podcast. So let's just jump into it. Tell me, why was everything about Parent University? How did it get started?
Okay, so in VISD, we are always looking for meaningful ways to engage with parents. And we know that, research shows over and over that strong parent engagement is a key for student success. And as director of state and federal programs, part of what I do is to help to develop and support the parent-family engagement program for the district. And so that's a passion of mine. And on the campuses, they do a great job of engaging their families in parent-family engagement events that are tailored to meet the needs at the campus level. And so we wanted to add some additional offerings at the district level to give parents more opportunities to engage in events and opportunities that would meet the needs of parents across the district. So Parent University was developed to create a series of sessions that would provide tools and strategies that would empower our parents with ways to support their students in their success at school.
So we launched this back in October with the community, asking them to share what type of sessions and workshops they would like to see, that they would want to participate in. What kind of response did y'all get from that survey?
So definitely we had some great responses from our parents, and that's always where we want to start, is with the parent need. So, when you have a parent engagement program, if it meets the needs, if you offer sessions and activities that meet the needs of your parents and they walk away feeling like their needs were met and they were empowered, they're more likely to come back to your next session. So that's always where we start, is with the parent need. And so we were able to kind of group the requests that they had into about 4 different categories, and some of them were around resilience, how to develop resilience in students. There was also one that a lot of math. Parents were requesting help with how to work with their kids at home with math.
Right, because that has changed since we were taking math. So completely understand the need for that.
Absolutely. So, and then positive discipline techniques. And so some of them had to do with curriculum. And so we reached out to the math curriculum department for assistance with that. And then that's how Cindy got involved with the MTSS, the multi-tiered student supports, is with the discipline routines, how to calm the chaos at home. That was our first session. And so we reached out to parents to get their input, and then we have tried to craft the sessions to meet their needs.
How y'all have had one session already. How was that session? What was participation like? What was the response?
So our first session was Success Starts at Home, Calming the Chaos. And it was really teaching parents the importance of setting those routines and procedures for what it looks like coming home from school, routine for bedtime, a routine for morning, getting ready for school. And then we also touched on screen time and the importance of setting those boundaries for screen time. We had a lot of parents show up, and we had some really good discussion. A lot of our session focused on how to really build a schedule around the family's needs and how to make sure that that schedule feeds the needs of the child and sets them up for success at school. But I think that the big takeaway was that parents were actually able to build a schedule while we were teaching them and giving them the tools. And then they were able to really ask questions and share with each other. A lot of the time that was shared was around screen time. It's a big issue. A lot of our parents are dealing with it, and they wanted to be educated on it. And we talked about boundaries. We talked about when it's appropriate, when it's not appropriate. And then we shared just hurdles that as parents we've all gone through with teenagers, high school students, and even the littles. And then we really continued working through like building a hands-on approach with our parents that when they come to a session, they leave with something that they can easily apply at home and see a difference.
So these aren't just sit and get sessions. These are very interactive. They're learning techniques. They're able to sit and build out a schedule of what their evening would look like at home and get feedback and insight on how to make it better or how to make improvements.
Yeah. So in discussions with our parents, we realized like some parents, for example, for my kiddos, it's really easy to get up, have breakfast, and then go get dressed and ready for the day. But another parent shared that for her, it's a lot easier to get her kids up, dressed, ready, and then the last thing they do before they head out the door is have breakfast. Another parent shared how she knows her kids have breakfast at school, so she needs to get them out the door. And so we all shared that it's not a one-size-fits-all. Everybody's routine looks different, but it's making sure that you find moments where it is a routine. It is an expectation that we're setting for kids. And that when we're sending them off to school, we're launching them for success and we're letting them know that we want them to be successful and have a good day.
Yeah. So I'm sure maybe some parents walked in feeling defeated into this session. When they left, how did they, were they perked up a little bit? How did they feel leaving that session?
So we had a mom who really shared that routines and procedures are just really hard because she's got littles. And with littles, they're the routine. When you have a baby at home, you tend to function by their schedule. So something that we told parents is that it's, you take one bite at a time. And we start with one simple step, and we do that for 30 days. It usually takes about 30 days for the brain to build a habit. And so we told parents, do one thing for 30 days and see what difference that makes, and then build on that. It may mean you get up 15, 20 minutes before the kids do so that you get time to set yourself up for success. To some parents, that seemed like, hey, I can do that. I can actually do that, and that helps my child. Helps me be in a better mood, and it helps my child be in a better mood before I send them off to school.
Right. So I want to try and tie this back into, we're doing a lot of strategic planning right now, working on our 2025 through 2029 strategic plan. And in there, Ms. Collazo has talked about student citizenship and the 10 VISD values, and how, like this first session of building structures, how do you think this ties into student citizenship? And I ask that because students need structure, children need structure. They also need a standard of expectations. And we know that when students have structure and expectations, they perform better. So how does Parent University in these sessions benefit our students and their citizenship?
So I think some of it is that in these sessions, we offer parents some explicit knowledge and information, because sometimes when the values are not explicit, people don't know, and children don't know what the expectation is, and so they don't know how to rise to meet that expectation. So with parents, they were very vulnerable in the session, and that was part of what I loved the most about, you said, how did they leave the session? Well, some of them lingered, and that's the sign of a good session, is when you have people that don't want to leave the party. So, they were there and they kept wanting to have conversations. But I think that sometimes parents feel disconnected from the school, and they know that there are expectations at school, but it's like they want to peek behind the curtain and see, okay, what are they asking my kid to do at school, and why is he or she struggling so much? And this gives parents an opportunity to meet with the people who are behind the curtain. I mean, these are the people who know, like Cindy's team helps students who are struggling with behaviors in school. These are the things we say to your child when he or she's at school and struggling. Mm-hmm. These are some strategies. These are some tools we use with the student. So we can share those with the parents. And then it's a mutual support system. Mm-hmm. We need them to support us in what we're doing at school, but they can't support us if they don't know what we're doing at school.
Right.
So it's kind of a win-win. And so back to the values, when people know what the expectations are and know how you're helping their child to develop those citizenship skills, mm-hmm. then they can help support that at home. And Cindy's team did a great job, and those parents walked away with something tangible, something in their hand, a schedule that they could then practice implementing at home. And the theme at the session was, it doesn't have to be perfect.
Right.
Don't beat yourself up if it's not perfect. Just try.
Yeah, I think that's a really good message. As a mom myself with work and kids and multiple things, maintaining a schedule is hard, and we don't always do it great, but we try most of the time.
And then you're sending when you have a routine in the morning, you're setting your child up for success
right.
at school. Because when your child gets out of the car, it's not the chaos, calming the chaos and, mm-hmm. Remembering the drop off at school and getting everybody ready and where's the backpack and all of the things that happen. And then you get, bye,
right.
have a great day. And you kiss them and, after it's just been, a nightmare at home.
Yeah.
And if you can have a calm environment and you launch your student at school, coming from a calm morning, then they're more likely to walk into school regulated and set up for success,
right,
to be that productive citizen.
Right. So y'all have a schedule through the beginning of April. The next session is going to fall in between us recording this podcast and it getting pushed out, and that is building self-esteem through resilience. Can you just share a little bit about what that session will look like for those who participate in it?
Sure. So the whole idea about building self-esteem through resilience is, a lot of our parents said, how do I help my child understand that they can bounce back from obstacles, mm-hmm. that when they hit rock bottom, it's okay. And we really started talking through with our partner, Midcoast Family Services, and said, hey, we want to come together and develop a session where we teach parents how to teach kids the skill to have resiliency, to bounce back. So in this session, we're really going to talk through strategies that parents can implement easily at home that is going to give the child the ability to think through, hey, it's okay that I failed this test, or it's okay that I maybe got in trouble. What can I do differently next time so that I can be better or do better? So through this session, parents are really going to learn these little strategies and just simple nuggets that they can apply at home. And begin to build that resiliency and that ability to bounce back from challenges. The other part of it is that they're going to be able to collaborate with their child in teaching them that responsible decision making. So when we're talking about our 10 VISD values, teaching them those values at home and having those conversations with your child. What does it mean to be respectful? And what does it mean to have to be responsible, to make decisions that are for your own good? Mm-hmm. And then our idea, we want parents to leave this session. Our only goal for this session is, when parents leave that session, we want them to be able to have a set of tools that they can go home and start to implement on day one, and some conversation starters and some very easy lessons that they can have at the dinner table or in the car drive to just begin to give kids that thoughtfulness of, hey, I'm building my character.
Mm-hmm. And then we also have a session March 13th, which is the Homework Heroes March Math Madness. Y'all spoke about this earlier with some parents needing help with helping their kids with math. What do y'all think that session will look like?
Okay, so this one, once we got the topic that parents wanted help with math, that's a very broad topic. So what we did was we took that topic then to the District Parent Advisory Committee. And if anybody wants to have input on helping to develop Parent University sessions, ideas, brainstorming, come to the District Parent Advisory Committee meetings. That is a great opportunity to offer input. So at this meeting, we had parents really look at the topics and say, tell us more about what you want. And for example, with math. And so they really did lay out specific topics. And then we took those back to the curriculum team at VISD. And we decided that what we needed to do was break them into grade bands. So we have a pre-K to first grade session. They're all happening at the same time on March 13th. Pre-K to first grade, there'll be a second and third grade, fourth and fifth, and then a middle school session. And really a lot of kind of a common theme throughout is developing numeracy and fact fluency. Because a lot of what gets in our kids' way with the higher levels of math is they don't have the automaticity, they don't have those facts, under their belt.
Right.
So, and they're having to spend a lot of time thinking about and figuring out the simple computations versus really tackling the math problem. So that's what we're going to work on March 13th is a lot of numeracy and fluency. And one of the things I love about Parent University is the opportunity to collaborate. We collaborate with parents about what their needs are, and then we get to collaborate with different departments. Moving forward, we've had some interest in some technology sessions or some sessions for students with special needs. So that's an opportunity for us to collaborate with the experts in those departments to kind of build out future sessions.
Right. And so parents can still RSVP for the March 13th
Absolutely.
session. And they can also still RSVP for the April 8th session, which is peaceful parenting using positive discipline techniques. Do you want to kind of tease what that one is going to be about?
Yeah. So, one of the things that we did in our first session, and I think parents really enjoyed that, is we played we listen and we don't judge game with our parents. And parents really started talking about, we are parents, we make mistakes. And sometimes those mistakes, our kids pick up on that and develop some behaviors that we're not very proud of. And so we talked to parents about building positive behavior techniques at home to really show kids the importance of positive behavior, positive reinforcement. So in this session, we're really going to talk about what are things that you can do at home to encourage that positive behavior, to encourage positive reinforcement, and then and when you do have to discipline, what are ways to do so that really send the message of, hey, I want this behavior to stop, and we need to think of a different way to approach the situation.
Okay, so technology, children being on iPads and phones at home playing games, that's a big thing right now. Can you give me an example of a positive parenting technique when you're trying to get your kid off of a device?
Absolutely. So we actually talked about this because a lot of parents shared that the battle of saying, hey, I need you to get off, or I need you to turn that TV off, it's time for bed. So some of the things that we talked about is using the technology as an incentive rather than a consequence. If the child comes home and does their chores and does their homework, you reward them with 10 extra minutes of technology time. It's technology time by your side where you are supervising what they're watching and what they're doing, but you're incentivizing that they chose to do and be responsible and do their work first and study for that test, pick up their room, and then you rewarded them with that technology time.
And that kind of goes back to the first session, the creating the structures and the routines at home. So if they come home and they know it's homework, it's chores, and they do that, then they're getting that positive reinforcement with extra technology time.
Yes.
So these sessions really kind of do weave into each other.
Yeah.
So y'all have y'all's 4 or 5 sessions planned out through the beginning of April. Are y'all taking suggestions or recommendations for future sessions? What does that process look like?
So In the big picture, we have the voice survey that goes out at the beginning of, it went out in January of 2025, and there are questions deliberately in there that ask what resources and activities best support you, to help your child in school. And so we get lots of feedback from the voice survey. And then at the parent advisory committees, we have further conversations. And then what's great is that at the first session, we already had parents who were asking for additional things. So I know Ashley said to RSVP for the session, but if you do not RSVP, that is not a deal breaker. Please bring your friends. Come on. There's plenty of room. So if you don't have a chance to RSVP because you're just hearing about this right now, or someone tells you about the session the day of, that is not a problem.
So tell our people, where can they go to attend a Parent University session?
So all of the sessions are at the VISD Connections building. We have based on the survey results, we have some that are offered in the mornings, some that are offered in the evenings. We're having one coming up this Saturday. By the time this airs, it will already have happened. And they're all at VISD Connections to make it easy to remember. But you can look on the district website. The easiest way to find the RSVP button is just in the search bar to put in Parent University. It'll take you to the Parent University page. It's got all of our sessions listed there. There's a blue button to push to RSVP. Flyers, some campuses sent home paper flyers with a QR code. Some campuses are all digital, so it was sent home in a digital flyer. It should be on social media.
Yes.
But
VISD Connections, if you follow them on Facebook, they're sharing out the public university sessions. The VISD Facebook page and Instagram, we're sharing it out also. On the VISD website, we've started adding the sessions under our events calendar, so they're all listed there as well. So lots of places to keep up with and find out about future Parent University sessions. If there was one thing you wanted our listeners to take away about Parent University, about these sessions that are available, what would you want to tell them?
I would want to say that these sessions were designed with them. They're designed for them. They are meant to be very practical ways to equip parents so that parents can have confidence that they have the strategies and the tools to support their students at school, and that we are all about, authentic partnerships with parents. And we encourage them to attend. Once you attend one, you're going to want to attend them all.
And we keep saying parents, but aunt, uncle,
absolutely,
grandma, grandpa, anybody who's picking up kids from school or dropping them off or keeping them after school, anybody who is with students, children, can benefit from these classes, right?
I think it's important for parents to know that this Parent University it's becoming a community where parents can come together and really just share their struggles and share moments of success and cheer on each other and really identify themselves within each other. We really saw that in the first session, how people that didn't know each other were having conversation, and they realized we're all struggling and we're all trying to raise good children and successful children. And that's kind of what we all want. And we're all finding different ways to do so. And so we want our parents to come to Parent University and know that this is a community that's here to help raise their children and help them raise successful children at home.
Well, I am excited to hear about the success of future sessions and then to bring y'all back to share future sessions that y'all are going to be hosting so we can continue to invite our parents and stakeholders and keep them informed of what opportunities are available to them. Thank you so much for coming today and sharing.
Thank you for having us.
Last words?
No, thank you for promoting Parent University. A lot of care and hard work and passion has gone into developing these sessions, and we really want parents to benefit and students ultimately to benefit from these sessions. So come on.
Yes. We want all of you to come.
And we'd like to thank you for joining us today on the School Matters podcast and learning so much more about Parent University and what VISD has to offer and support parents, guardians, and stakeholders in our community. If you are not following Victoria ISD on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, be sure you're doing so. We share all information about events coming up and Parent University sessions on our social media platforms as well as our website, and make sure that you are listening or watching the School Matters podcast on Spotify and YouTube. Until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and stay in the know.